Hi everyone, I'm Chris Tipper, Chief Economist and Strategist for the Ainslie Group, and welcome to Ainslie Insights for another week, starting with our precious metals update. Whether you're a seasoned investor or just keeping tabs on the markets, I'm here to help you prepare for the week ahead with the latest news and analysis on gold, silver and platinum. Today we take a look at how the precious metals landscape is being profoundly influenced by heightened US-China trade tensions and a notable potential development in US monetary policy. With tariffs on Chinese goods starting to make a noticeable impact on American consumers, and China's retaliatory tariffs and other non-tariff responses gaining momentum, global economic stability is under considerable strain. Compounding this uncertainty is the growing public tensions between President Donald Trump and Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. Reports suggest Trump's frustration with Powell's monetary strategy could foreshadow significant policy shifts, potentially amplifying the appeal of precious metals as safe haven assets. This presentation is brought to you by ainslie.com.au, the home of Ainslie Bullion, Ainslie Crypto, Ainslie Wealth and the Gold and Silver Standard. Be sure to have a look. Now let's start digging into the specifics. Firstly, with gold. Gold remains the preeminent asset in the precious metals sphere, ending last week at 5,206 Aussie dollars per ounce. The week saw some pronounced volatility, peaking at $5,280 from a low of $5,034 earlier in the week. This fluctuation reflects the market's response to the intensifying US-China trade war and broader macroeconomic uncertainties. A significant narrative gaining traction is gold's role as a credible alternative to US government debt. With the US national debt surpassing $36 trillion and a burgeoning imbalance in Treasury bond supply and demand, confidence in fiscal sustainability is waning. The trade war has heightened these concerns, with some nations contemplating divestment from US debt as a retaliatory measure. Against this backdrop, gold's status as a safeguard against economic and geopolitical instability is increasingly evident. The reported friction between President Trump and Jerome Powell introduces an additional dimension of uncertainty. Trump's dissatisfaction with Powell's approach to interest rates has fueled speculation about prospective changes in Federal Reserve leadership and policy direction. Should Trump be successful in his push for a more expansionary monetary stance, or actually manage to force Powell's replacement, the resultant market turbulence could weaken the US dollar and propel gold prices upward. This potential flight to safety underscores gold's strategic importance in the current climate. Sentiment from multiple sources reinforces this bullish perspective. The World Gold Council has noted robust demand in China, stating March was another exceptional month for gold in China, and affirming gold has continued its impressive rally, repeatedly setting new record highs. Meanwhile, Goldman Sachs revised its year-end gold forecast to $3,700 per ounce, around 5,800 Aussie, citing economic uncertainty. The sentiment can be summarised in online statements like, "You think the bull market's already ended? It hasn't even started yet," reflecting widespread optimism. Central banks, notably China's PBOC, have resumed gold acquisitions, adding 333 tonnes in the fourth quarter of last year. Persistent inflation and recessionary risks in the US further enhance gold's allure. In Australia, the gold mining sector benefits from a weakened Aussie dollar, currently just under 64 US cents, amplifying export revenues. Demand from Asia remains vigorous, though it has been noted that environmental regulations pose ongoing challenges. The demand side has led to local projections indicating continued strength. ANZ anticipates over $5,600 when you price it in Aussie by year end, while other optimistic forecasts see over $6,000 by May. However, de-escalation of trade tensions or sustained high interest rates could moderate these gains. From my perspective, however, when it comes to what's next for gold this week, the Trump-Powell dynamic remains a pivotal factor to monitor. Silver closed the week at $50.93 Aussie cents per ounce, marking an 11% rise since the start of the year. The metal has sustained levels above $45 since September last year, demonstrating continued strength, even against the volatility, peaking at $55 at the end of March. This week's volatility was tied to trade war disruptions in industrial supply chains. Silver's dual identity as both an industrial and precious metal shapes its trajectory. Industrially, it's integral to solar panels and electric vehicles, yet the trade war has impaired supply chains from key producers like China, tempering demand. As a safe haven asset, silver mirrors gold's upward momentum, albeit with less intensity at this stage of the cycle, but bolstered by the same flight to safety impulses, potentially amplified by US policy uncertainties. Commentary from experts in the space highlights this complexity. Analysts are focused on tariff-related uncertainty, cautioning about COMEX futures volatility when silver hits 50 Aussie dollars, and the gold-silver ratio of 102 suggesting silver may be undervalued, offering a significant opportunity for discerning investors who can wait through the short-term noise. Silver's industrial outlook remains promising, with solar energy potentially consuming 98% of global reserves by 2050. However, trade war headwinds introduce significant uncertainty. In Australia, silver mining leverages the weak Aussie dollar for local export advantages. Local forecasts are cautiously positive, ranging from $56 to $63 by the end of the year. Even more bullish scenarios envisage over 100 Aussie dollars if industrial demand accelerates. The interplay of trade dynamics and US policy shifts, including the Trump-Powell tension, will be decisive. Platinum ended the week at 1,514 Aussie dollars per ounce, up nearly 8% since January. It has traded within a somewhat tight range so far this year. Despite the relative stability, the trade war's disruption of supply chains from South Africa and Russia, which dominate 85% of global output, has heightened market uncertainty. Commentary from analysts in the space underscore structural deficits so significant the platinum markets are really not at risk, despite UBS downgrading its price outlook. The World Platinum Investment Council predicts an 848,000 ounce deficit in 2025, propelled by automotive demand. 70% of platinum powers catalytic converters. Yet the shift to electric vehicles threatens this segment, while green technologies like hydrogen fuel cells offer future potential. In Australia, platinum, which is a byproduct of nickel and copper mining, benefits from the weak Aussie dollar, though South African cost pressures persist. Some forecasters predict prices in the high $1,600 range in 2025, with a long-term projection of over 2,500 Aussie dollars by 2030. Supply deficits and that emerging green tech, with prospects such as hydrogen fuel cells, provide support. But trade and technological shifts warrant some vigilance here. In conclusion, in the current environment, precious metals continue to be shaped by geopolitical strife, central bank strategies, and industrial trends. Gold's recent ascent, silver's steady progress, and platinum's resilience present varied opportunities. I'll be paying close attention to the Trump-Powell discord this week, as any material change to the status quo there could significantly bolster demand for safe haven assets, particularly gold, should it escalate beyond simply words to genuine policy upheaval. Australian investors benefit from the weak Aussie dollar currently and should track trade developments, US monetary policy, and industrial shifts. What do you think? Will the Trump-Powell tension markedly influence markets, or do other factors dominate? Please share your insights below. Thanks for watching, and good luck in the precious metals markets this week. Don't forget to follow for more updates, and I'll be back with another update in this format next Monday. See you then.